Welcome back to Raid Shadow Legends. We are going over the Doom Tower, the Magma Dragon, and this boss can be the easiest boss in the game if we have a provoke up every single turn he takes. Otherwise, if we don't have a provoke up, we're probably going to wipe. Now, this is true for this boss, no matter if you're on normal floor 1 or floor 120. It'd be floor 10 normal or 120 of hard. It does not matter. At that point, it is just a gear check. If you've made it through the waves already, the waves before a boss wave are much harder than the waves within the boss stage. They made it that way. They're much easier to get through as long as you can make it to that boss. If you've made it here, there are plenty of champions in the game that can provoke. And we can get that provoke up. Plus, there's provoke sets in this game, guys. We can put a provoke set up and make sure somebody is always provoking. Because if we don't have that, this boss becomes very difficult. And if we do have it, it becomes very easy and laughable to beat this boss. So right now, I'm bringing in a Seeker who has a provoke on his A1. Caden has a very small provoke on his A1 to help out. And then we have here Graybeard, which has a provoke on the A1 at a 70% chance. Plus, we have Fearsome Presence on these people, a 5% additional chance to provoke, stun, sleep, freeze. Go look at Fearsome Presence in the defensive mastery, and you'll see. So we get that additional 5%. Plus, he is in a provoking set. So we get a 35% chance. 30% chance from the set, 5% chance additional from Fearsome Presence. We do 2 checks here on this A1. Whenever he attacks the boss with this A1, we're going to have a 75% chance to provoke. If that fails, it's going to go over to a 35% chance to provoke. 2 checks there on the A1. That's handy. That will help you out. And then here, if he does this on the boss can't be frozen, but we can get a provoke. We got a 35% chance to get a provoke off this move. Plus, it increases our chance to freeze with Fearsome Presence while we're going through those waves. So this will help us out with the waves. If we get the counterattack up and the boss hits us, we will sit here and try to apply a provoke again. So 3 different champions to get a provoke, and we brought in Paragon to have 100% uptime on Unkillable. An Unkillable for 2 turns on a 2-turn cooldown, and we can cast this on anybody who's about to die, anybody who's doing the most provokes. Easy days. Let's run through it. After this, we're going to look at a sheet and see all the champions that do provokes in this game. Now, if you have an Angar, that's awful handy to have. He's a legendary Void champion. That is probably the best champion to come up against this boss. But even with Angar, you want backup. You want backup provokes on this boss. And please believe me, it doesn't matter what stage you're on. It does not matter at all if you are on stage 10 or stage 120 or hard. It's all a gear check at that time. If you're making it up to that boss, if you can make it to 120 hard, then all you need to, then you've got the gear to do it. You've already beat those harder waves. You get to this boss, you've got the speed necessary, you've got the accuracy. You're able to do that with your account. But if you're getting beat by this boss and you're not able to get those provokes, that's because you don't have the accuracy needed. You need to bring in an accuracy lead or go farm gear or find a way to make sure that you're always getting a provoke up. Because at that point, like the method to do this is the same no matter where you fight this boss. You just get the provokes up every single turn. And we have so many champions that can do the provoke. So then again, like I said, at that point, we could get unlucky, right? We could definitely get unlucky. Oh, there was no provoke. I didn't see a provoke this whole entire time. Oh, man. There it is. You can get unlucky. I've seen many times people fail on this boss and have to rerun it. But we only have to beat it 1 time. So run it again. If you have this many provokes like I do, run it again until you get 100% uptime on your provoke like this. You beat it with your Royal Guard if you have one, or your Cold Heart, or anything else that does damage based off of enemy max HP, or load this guy up with poisons, whatever you have to do, and get your provokes up. And this dragon is nothing. It's a walk in the park. He's just going to provoke. And if we wanted to manual to make sure that we put our Unkillable on anybody who's about to die or taking damage, or if we wanted to bring in somebody who could heal us, we could do that. Shields, counterattack, whatever else. Especially if you have counterattack with somebody like him coming in here, that'd be great if he's your main provoker. But you need backup. And don't be afraid to use those provoking, taunting sets. It's a 4-piece set, but we get a 30% chance. And then we get a 5% additional from Fearsome Presence, and you'll be able to do this. Doesn't matter what floor it's on. You will be able to do this. And if he's hitting hard enough on that A1, if you get a decreased attack of 50%, and he's still hitting really hard on whoever's provoking and they're dying, bring in your Paragon. It doesn't matter what level your Paragon is. As long as he has books and he's a 2-turn unkillable on a 2-turn cooldown, that's 100% uptime. And as long as you're provoking, this Paragon's not going to die. You just got to make sure you have coverage going through the waves, right? You got to bring everybody through the waves. But again, if you've been through these waves, these are 225. The waves we saw in there are like 150. They are so easy to get through. Let's look at all the champions who have provokes and what you might want to use. So we have Angar here. I think Angar is probably your best option if you have him. for getting through the waves, AoE provoke, and then whenever he counterattacks, he has a chance to reapply the provoke, right? So he's going to do that. Whenever he has you have a provoke on, he goes in there, he reapplies it. It's very easy to do with Angar. Drexstar Blood Twin is not going to work. He has too long of a cooldown, and it's not even a 100% chance to apply. Ignatius might be too long of a cooldown as well. You can use all these champions. You can. Just make sure you bring in backup and have people with the provoking set on. Molly Tankard is amazing. 3-turn cooldown for a 1-turn provoke, but we do get a 50% chance to do a 2-turn provoke. So if you have Molly Tankard along with the Seeker, you got to bring more. You can't just bring Molly in. That won't work. We've got to have that provoke up every single time. Martyr's not going to work. 4-turn cooldown for a provoke, that will not work. Solus might work out for you. Tormund, bring them all. But definitely bring in somebody like a Gnarlhorn will do the AoE. We need single target. We need Greybeard. Bring in somebody like a Greybeard. I know you don't want to level up a rare. You don't want to be bothered with it. You have all these amazing champions, but you're going to have to. You can't bring in all these legendaries and have a provoke up enough time with all their cooldowns. Unless you have all of them and you're just rotating, right? This guy, this new guy we got to do that AoE provoke, he's not even 100% chance to try to apply that provoke. Grimskin's on a long cooldown. Rockbreaker does a 1-turn provoke AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. Umbral Enchantress does 2-turn provoke, but she's got a long cooldown. She'll lock out her skills, and it's like 5 turns, so we can't rely on her. Gnarlhorn is amazing, but again, he's a 1-turn provoke on a 3-turn cooldown. We can't. That won't cut it. We need to come down here to people who have it on their A1. Adder is actually a really good one. This Barbarian here can do a provoke on this A2. 2 times at random. Each hit has a 75% chance to provoke, and then he'll hit on the A1 and has a chance. Now, we can't use them. Again, we can't use anybody by themselves. You have to bring in multiple people that provoke. But you want multiple people that can do it on their A1s. Crimson Helm's not going to work well. Husk can do it on his A1. We could use him. You're probably going to have to manual it in because you want to make sure you keep provoking on that A1, but he can definitely help you out, get through the waves. Jizzo can actually help you. He has a 2-turn provoke on that A3. Kaden has a small provoke on his A1. Missionary, Sandlash Survivor has a provoke on her A1. She can help you get through there. Seeker, definitely Seeker. And Towering Titan, I think, is longer. But we have a lot of options. So look through the list. Find some champions. We have Sentinel. I have Sentinel. He's this champion is a good champion. Look at this A1. As long as we crit on the A1, we've got a 60, 70, 85? 85%. So 90% chance to provoke. This is actually a really good champion. I have him at 50. I've played around with him quite a bit. Look at his master. Look at his passive. Heals this champion by 10% HP at the start of each turn. So he's always healing himself. He's always, if we use his A1, he's got the highest provoke on the A1 there for us to go through there as long as we critical hit, and we will just provoke away. And getting through the waves, he does an AoE and decrease attack. And we could use that decrease attack on the boss if somebody else is provoking for us as well. So don't look at the rares. I'm telling you, look at the rares and see what they have and get through there. You just need the accuracy and the speed needed, and that boss is so simple. I've used quite a few champions. I've got Stoneskin. We could also, oh yeah, we didn't see Stoneskin in there. Stoneskin is another really good option. He is always here to fuse. So go look at your fusion here for Broadmaw. Stoneskin, which I have at 60. I did a guide on him probably like a year ago. You take these uncommons, fuse this guy up, and we've got a, what's his A1? Here he is. All right, we've got a 50, 60, 75% chance to provoke on the A1. We can slow speed here, but we can't do that on the boss. We can't slow speed or turn meter reduce. But going through the waves, AoE attack here. Then we get a turn meter increase and increased defense. But we're just going to focus on this, trying to get that provoke. So right here, we have no excuses. We could build 2 or 3 stone skins, go in there with some support, and just try to provoke, manual that Magma Dragon over and over. But that's all we've got. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time, guys. The Magma Dragon is easy as long as we keep those up. If we don't, then we die. So we got to just keep at it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. If you have any comments or concerns or great teams that you're using to beat the Magma Dragon, please let us know down below, and I will see you all on a video soon.